Hello, today I'm going to demonstrate how to modify an existing model BASIC. For details you can also refer to the Radio Museum Handbook in section 12. How to modify an existing model BASIC. So these are the general steps that you'll need to make changes to an existing model, and we'll be going through this during the demonstration, and I'll just list them here for your reference. Let's go straight to the demo. Okay, I thought it'd be a good idea to follow on with my previous video is how to create a new model BASIC in which we created this model right here, Magnavox 1R1506 green, and it's this version right here. It's a Magnavox solid state AM only radio, and we were going through the process of creating this new model. We discovered that there is another version of this, which is the clock model version, clock radio model version. Well, there's a clock right here, and that was a 1R1507. So we're going to update that one. The reason we knew that, because looking at the circuit board here of the 1R1506, it actually had a /07, so I knew there was another version of this, and the chassis looked like it could hold another clock module to the side. Alright, so it's a 1507. So we're going to transfer the transistor information over to the 1507, as well as a few other things that we've learned from the 1506. And one little update we're going to make to this new model is one of our administrators, Dave, discovered on the bottom here of this radio, there's an inspection sticker, and it has a 3/66, and that's probably a March 1966, so we're going to update that date from a 65 to a 66. Alright, let's get started. So go to your homepage, radiomuseum.org homepage, and let's get the AM version first. That's the Magnavox 1R1506. Okay, so there's the new model we just created, and we're going to change this date right here from a 1965 to a 1966. Okay, we're going to change the other one as well, the clock radio version. So let's grab it. It's right here. There's the link. Now I could have gone to the home page and then typed in Magnavox 1R1507 and searched for it that way as well. You might as well use the link. Okay, let's go with the easy change first. So let's go back to the AM model. Okay, so select uploads and questions. Going on to data change, etc. And then here's the changes history. We want to suggest a change. Okay, and then here's the change form. So we have the topics, or here are the categories and descriptions and things. Here's what's in there, the current data. And then if you want to make changes, you put them in the field over here on the right, under suggestion. So the one we're going to change, if you don't have any changes, just leave them blank, and they'll stay as is. So we want to change this one, 1965. Now there's 2 years blocks here. The first field is the when did this device was first marketed, first introduced, and you always have something put in there, even if it's just a guess. We're going to put a date in there. So we're going to change this from a 1965 to a 1966. The second block is if you know when the last sales years was of that radio, you put it in here. In most of our cases, we don't know what that is, so it's left blank. We're not going to change the uncertainty. We're still going to leave it as it's just a guess. Okay, and that's the only change we're going to make. So let's go on down to the bottom, specify our reason. Click in here, and it'll take a second for the software to catch up. There it is. So I'm going to say that Dave found inspection sticker that said 366, so maybe March 1966. Okay, so let's do that. Now I'm not going to click go at this point, because I'll tell you why I'm doing that in a minute. Let's go to the other one. So here's the one we're going to have more changes to do here. So let's go to uploads and questions, data change, etc. Suggest a change. Okay, here's the change field. So let's correct this or update this with information we learned from the 1R 1506. So we're going to change this date, 1966, still just a guess. Let's see, we put in 455 kHz for the IF. Let's see, we have, now this one has a 117 volts AC on the sticker. Mine had 120. We're going to leave those different. They match the sticker of the model. Okay, this one doesn't have the diameter of the speaker. We know what it is now. 2.5 inch. Date that. These are the same. Okay, now I measured, instead of 10 inches wide, I measured 9 3/4. It's the same cabinet for both these versions, so it should be the same exterior dimensions. Now I'm not changing the others, so I'm just going to leave them blank, so the 4 and the 4 and the inch will carry. Okay, there's no valves. Okay, now here, transistors. I want to put those 7 transistors I found in there, so I'm going to click in here. Now one thing you'll notice, that the history of your most recent history of your transistors for this field will show up. I could just click on this since this was the last history that I did for transistors, but I want to show you, but you won't necessarily have that in your case. So I'm going to show you how to copy from another model. So if I go back to this model and I want to copy these transistors, I can't highlight this because these are links. They got hyperlinks. If I click on this, it actually goes to the tubes and transistors tab up here, inserts this for the search item, and then pulls up the model page for that component. That's not what I want. But if I open up a change form, suggest a change form here, and go to my form, right here, here are the transistors. They're in a text format. So they're easy to highlight. Hold the left mouse button down, drag it, release. They're highlighted. Do a Control-C copy. Then go to your new form. Click right here. Do Control-V paste. And there they are. So it's not bad if you've only got a few transistors or a few tubes to re-enter here. You can just type them. But 7, I don't want to retype those. It's really bad if you'd had like 28 tubes or something like that. You do not want to type 28 tubes in here if you can copy them from somewhere else. Okay, now let's go down to this one. This said semiconductors present before. That's because someone put a -1 in this field here, and that means there are transistors, but the quantity is unknown. Well, we now know the quantity is 7, so let's put 7 in there. Okay, now we come down to the notes field. Now, if I just wanted to make a correction to the existing notes up here, you can't edit up here. This is as it stands right now. But if Singapore was misspelled like we'd used in our previous example of how to create a new model, I could just do this. I want to modify. It changes this field from append text to the remarks to replace remarks. And it copies this existing remarks down to here. And I could make my correction. I could correct Singapore or whatever the problem was here, or enter some new data. I don't want to do that. I want to copy the new form that we did in the AC model, so I'll just delete that. Make sure this says replace remarks with text. And let's go back to the 1506 model. Let's go down here. Let's do a left click hold and drag your mouse, release, and that highlights the notes. Control-C, copy. And paste them down here, Control-V. Now we can just edit this. Alright, so this is the alarm clock. Alarm clock radio model, and it's a 1507. Okay, the color beige, I'll double click there, Control-C. Double click, that selects it, Control-V. And I'm not going to bother copy that. I'll just backspace, put 10 watts here. The reason it's 10 watts because this model has the clock motor in it, and that takes another 5 watts. So it's a total of 10. Okay, and I want to link back to the AM radio only, no clock. AM radio only version is the Magnavox 1506. Okay. Now this link right here is the wrong link. It's the link to the 1507, which is this page I'm on. So I want to break that link, and that's this icon right here. Anytime you clicked in a link area, like this is a non-link area, there's nothing linked there, so there's no unlink necessary. But this is a link. So you click anywhere in there, use this one to unlink that, and you can see the underscore went away. So we need to re-highlight this. The left mouse button hold, and then release. Okay, now it's highlighted. Now we want to link that phrase. Click on that. Okay, looking for a URL. So let's go back to the 1506, and let's go up to the address, click it, and another click there because I want the full address, HTTPS at the front. Copy that, go back here, and then do a Control V, paste, and there you can see it's 1R1506. That's the right link for the AM model. Click OK. Okay, there it is. Okay, now it's underscored. And you can see when I click on there, we've got the unlink option available. But we've got the right one. So that looks correct. All right, now let's go down here. Now I had 1.6 pounds on the AM only radio. This one's going to weigh more. It's got the clock motor in there, and we don't know how much that is. So we're going to leave that blank. And no additional information here either. All right, so let's put our reason down here. Update with data from the AM only version. 1R1506, and we're going to add a link also back to that model. Okay, so let's see, update with an A. Update with data from the AM only version, 1R1506, and then add link. Okay, so now when we click go here, we'll see the results of all of our changes. It's not going to submit the changes yet for approval. We'll get a review page here. Okay, so it's only going to show the revisions of the ones that I'm changing, not the whole form. Okay, you can see the now and the suggested change. So we go from a 65 to a 66. Still double question, which is just a guess. And we're adding the 455 IF frequency here. The loudspeaker is now 2.5-inch diameter. I changed the 10 inches wide to 9 3/4. Notice the 4 and the 4 and the inch just carry over. And then I've added the 7 transistors here. And we went from semiconductors present to fixed number 7. And then there they are. And then we're going to replace the remarks with this text. So this is being replaced. And let's make sure we got the corrections right. So we inserted the alarm clock there in 1507. It's beige. It's 10 watts. And now the AM radio only version is the Magnavox 1R1506. Now you can check the hyperlink right here. Just click on that. And it goes right to the correct page. So the hyperlink is correct. If that's incorrect, use the back key here. Unlink it and then link it with the correct one like I demonstrated. Or if there's any other problem here that's not correct, use the back button here just like we did during the create a new model. Go back and make your fixes. Okay, so this looks good. We've got a reason down here, update with data with AM only version and add link. So we're ready to submit it. So as soon as I click the go button here, it's going to be submitted. Ready for approval. And it'll also bring back the home page that shows the revisions to it in parentheses, and they're in blue also. So here's the first change. The year is 66 from 65. 7 transistors, and there they are. IF frequency, 2.5-inch speaker, 9 3/4 inches wide. And then here's the change down here. Now we can also still check the link right here. And there it is there. Okay, so that one's ready. Now let's go back to here. Now if I only suggested a change to use this technique of copying tubes, copying transistors, things like that, and I didn't make any changes, just close this out. They won't be submitted. You have to go through the process of doing this down here in order for it to be sent to the review board, to the review panel. Okay, so let's do a go. And there's our change right here, 65, 66. That looks okay. And then there are reason. Okay, now when I click the go here, it's going to be submitted for approval. Okay, and it's going to show me the change right here in parentheses in blue. Okay, so if you want to see where your changes are, go back to a home page. Go down here to community. And then right here, pending models. Here's the pending models page. And the top of the page is the alteration suggestions. So the country, the manufacturer, the model, number of suggestions, who you are that submitted them, date, and you can show them, see what they are by clicking that. So they go from oldest to newest. So the newest at the bottom, that's us. Here they are, the 1506, 1507. There's one change on that one, just the date, and then there's 8 changes. And that's your name going to be right there, the year and the date and all that here. And if you want to see your change, click to show. Now as a member, you can't change it. Once you've submitted it, only the administrators can make changes or delete it or reject them. Okay. But they could, the administrators now, they have the ability to change these, make corrections, confirm or reject. Click up here to go back. And let's look at the other one. And then they're there. Okay, so that's all there is to it. It's not that difficult. It's a goes very fast if you have your information gathered up before you enter the process, start doing the process, and it doesn't take that long at all. All right then, this concludes the demonstration of how to modify an existing model basic.